subscribe to this channel, share with your friends. It's about entrepreneurship, personal development, financial knowledge, Africa's dignity, and many more. So today I want to share with you business and investment. Business and investment, or invest in the business that you're building. Invest in the business that you're building. I remember when we started our our journey, our trial with business. We didn't have much experience, we didn't have much exposure, not much from anybody. So it was, a lot of it were from books and training and looking afar, learning from people. We didn't have direct mentors, direct people who could just say, come, let me teach you how things are done. We didn't have that. So there were a lot of mistakes, a lot of learnings that we had to do. And because there is constant pressure there, a lot of things don't add up. When things start to work, we seem to believe or behave as if now that things are working. I've had 5 years, 10 years of struggling all the time. So now that things are working, I would have to prove and show to people who doubted me, who didn't believe in me, people who thought that I was crazy, I didn't know what I was doing. Now I have to tell them that I'm successful. Now I have to show that I have money. Now I have to tell them that I have raised somewhere. That's where people who build businesses, when things start to work and they start to see money, they will then go to build big houses, buy nice cars, change neighborhood, change the school of their children, and things like that, just to let people understand that now they are rich. I think that if you are focusing on building wealth, building something that will go beyond yourself, building something that even if this current business does not work, you will still be in good shape and you still have some level of wealth, then I say that you have to look at business well, and then you have to know what they call investment. And it's that critical. When your business starts to make extra money, when you start to see excesses, you have to look at how to grow the business and blow the business up. Grow the business well so that the business can go, and take more, because businesses that grow, prosperity is in growth. So instead of you trying to prove to people that now you want to go and buy a very big house, and things like that, I would say that grow, invest back in the business, build, structure the business, systematize it well, get good people to work with you, put some quality structures in place, buy the machines that you need, buy the equipment that you need, buy the softwares that you need, build the business, grow the business. But if you don't have passion to maybe grow the business from 100 workers to 1,000 to 2,000 to 10,000, but you still want to have a way of creating wealth, then I would say that also look at areas that you can invest the money that the business is coming. So that, because that's how wealth is preserved, that's how wealth is created, and that's how you grow wealth. Where the money that is coming now, you're not spending it on yourself, you're not spending them. Some people have successful businesses, then they start to build 5 houses, 10 houses, 20 houses, and who lives in those houses just to show that they have reached. And yet the business is not grown so much that if anything happens, their finances will be intact. So we have a lot of examples of people who are doing so well, who started to build big houses in nice areas, who had to buy nice cars to pay. I don't know sometimes how people think that once you start to get money, then you have to change everything. Maybe I don't understand it. Maybe there are a lot of advantages in that. I don't know. But if your business starts to do well, think of preserving the wealth. Think of preserving the wealth. And that's where investment expertise and investment skills come in. It doesn't have to be very complex. It doesn't have to be very complicated. Just start the business. Once the business is trying and the business is making some revenue, you will start to put the business, some kind of money, in other businesses. You can invest in other businesses, maybe your own businesses. You can even open more businesses or grow the existing business so much well that there is a lot coming in. And you can also look at other things that a lot of these rich people use to preserve their wealth, and much of it, they look at houses, properties. You can look at cocoa farm, cash crops, things like that. Kube, invest in areas that once once you have invested in, like, let's say you're investing in an apartment, for instance. Once you spend the time to build that apartment, there's not much work on it. You just have to get people to live in it, and take what you have to take on the rent. So that becomes a good place that you can lock some money, or you can invest in some other things that a lot of people know. Put the money somewhere that you don't easily lose the money. It's one thing just making the money. It's another thing to keep the money and grow it. And what I've seen is that a lot of entrepreneurs are very passionate about building businesses, but once the business starts to make money, they don't know how to grow the business, or grow the wealth and preserve the wealth beyond what they do, especially small and medium businesses. And that's where we start to lock. We start to lock a lot of our money in things, just to let people on things that will show that we have arrived, things that will prove to people that we have reached, and that we have money. That's where we start to go, for all these holidays. We start to, take all this first class and business class, and we have to go to all these top hotels, True, and we are invited to every occasion. Everybody wants some kind of donation from you, but you have not invested the money anyway. So when anything happens to this current business, then there is trouble. If the business is making $1 million a month, maybe you should push it to making 20 million, making 100 million. Grow the business, so that things that happen will not crash everything that you have used all these years to build. And if you think your capacity cannot grow the business so much, then look at areas that you can put the money in that will have some kind of safety, some kind of preservation. One thing about investing in other people's businesses is that you've got to know them, because once the money goes to them, it's a whole different thing. So you really have to know them and study them before you give a lot of money to people. But I say that keep some of the money in things that will not easily go down. In things that maybe you can go to your area and buy very big land and start to see what you can do with those, because it's money that you have locked like that. My grandfather was a wise man. He was a transporter. He was a farmer. He was a cocoa farmer. He had oranges. He had sheep, goat, some other things. But what I saw him do was that when he was young, he had some land, so he would buy this sand and pile them and store them. So when he was old, then he started to sell the sand to feed himself, to take care of himself. He was never poor till he died. Now this is somebody who never went to school, never could not read, could not write as we say it, but he was full of information, full of knowledge. And now we have a lot of people well educated, from every kind of university around the world, and yet in their retirement they die poor, they die broke, because they never thought of investing in their future. So if you look at my grandfather's idea, you will see that he thought of his future and how he could preserve some of the money that he made when he was strong, when he was a young man. So invest the money. Once the business is doing well, because we go through a lot of pressure, we go through a lot of pain, we go through a lot of struggles, then the business starts to work. And the moment the business starts to work, grow the business, structure the business well, expand it as much as you can. But once you still start to see some surplus, think of other areas that you can keep the money so that you don't lose it so quickly. Some people will talk of stock market, some people will talk of gold, some people will talk of houses, rare estate. Some people will even talk of investing in new business. Some people even set up another company where you start to invest in other people's businesses and take some kind of share and be involved. You have to sit down to look at what suits your environment. Some people will look at cocoa farm, any other area that you think you can invest money, so that at least wealth has to be preserved. You can't just work 20 years of your life and then you lose everything in the next day. You have to learn it, you have to preserve it. It depends on which instruments you use, but at least look at the area that you are, the locality, the culture. Look at how you preserve them, because our grandfathers were doing that. They preserve them. That's why some houses will have gold. They will keep the gold. Some houses will never be poor because of the kind of investment those who came before them made. So think of investing, not just showing people that you are rich. The investing is not in so much in the big house that you have built out of the business. Some people will even build huge houses, buy nice cars, and then by the time they finish doing those, the business is no more. No, invest in the business. Invest so much in the business that the business starts to do well, because it's the business that is bringing the money. Take care of the business, and when the excess comes, put them in areas that you can get, you can control, you can preserve, you can grow for future, and not only for yourself and for others who come after you. So my name is Kwabena. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe to this channel, business and investment, or investing back in your money in your business and other areas, so that you create wealth and preserve the wealth. You may not even be thinking of becoming a billionaire or millionaire, but at least you can keep something in the family that can run for years, because you were intelligent and you made right decisions and choices.